also.
It's in the report.
Yeah.
So did you show your system for users and get? So did you show this system for users and evaluate their
Yes.
responses?
Yes,
Okay.
it should be.
Yeah,
on
sure.
the documentation. This is the content of the documentation, and we move on to the evaluation. This is the developed systems and the different parts of the system, and what we used is heuristic evaluation, and this was there are many proposed strategies for this. So
What's the ultimate heuristic evaluation?
heuristic evaluation, since this for our system, I thought this was the most compatible thing, and like we discussed.
Did you use some experts' knowledge for this evaluation, knowledge and experience of the other users?
For most Java systems, heuristic evaluation was the better one, I thought, because other you can use we use two evaluation types. One is I'll show you later on, and this visibility what this shows is the Nielsen's heuristic proposed in 1990, and from the text usability engineering. And the first topic that he discusses is visibility of the system status and consistency. This is the main menu that contains the important categorization. Develop the system using simplified tags, and the information of the current interface is highlighted from the main menu. And as you've seen, there is different interface modules, such as what I've used here is kind of like a headless menu with a color-coded section. And the user acquires an idea about the interface which currently operates and functionality through the menu items. The hover effect of the menu conveys the consistency between the interaction and the system's response, and assurance the portraits and responsiveness. So what it does is, when a user moves the cursor through the menu, so it gives kind of a responsiveness. He knows the responsiveness of the system when the hover is implemented. And the match between the system and the real world. All these terms related to the system are frequently used terms in the construction industry, and they are implemented to ensure the user friendliness. And for an example, item inventory or all the attributes are essential to the structural view of the table and in the real world. And for error prevention, these error prevention mechanisms are supposed to give the user a sense of freedom, as in the system ensures if the user is forgot password, there is a reset password.
Validation stuff rather than clicking the registration button or something like that. When you move that person cursor to next field or something like that, you should validate it and display the message. You should not allow that person to proceed from there onwards.
And this is error prevention dialogues, and we move on to automated unwanted workload. So some of the calculations as the system, as you've seen, are automated, so less cognitive resources, that means thinking, and more reliable, quicker, and lower process. So then later we move on to this reduce uncertainty. So according to the heuristics from Nielsen, what he mentioned is the portraying of the data should be expected in an obvious format. The data, as you've seen in the system, is in a structured format, so the user knows what he's doing. And yeah. Yes. And differentiating functions. As seen the interface modules, tab panes are used to classify a structure.
Did you consider tab focus or using keyboard, something like tab focus for different buttons and stuff?
As in
Yeah, for the login and all, we have used, you can type the username, you can press tab, and you can type the password.
I mean that among other buttons, right? So did you consider about the tab focus? Only 3 tabs for logout button, something like that.
Yeah, for the login, we have used tab, and when you press enter, it will automatically enter to the system. You don't want to click it and press login, and you don't have to press login to log into the system. We can show you also that.
here we move on to ethical considerations. The interview we did for the statistical data, these are the ethical considerations that we took. There was a consent, so we have to explain the users the nature of our system and the system, and the mutual agreement has to be made before making the statistical data, and the confidentiality. These users' identities are not shown in any documents, and they are not produced in any way, except they are given some kind of a tag. Let's say what we used is example for first year student.
Did you consider password credentials? Are you going to serialize credentials and stuff? Or did you consider about the hashing these credentials stuff?
Nature of the tests, we've made sure that they've understood these tests. What we did was we provided the statistical data with a tag as first year student, so that means we know their knowledge level, so that means we can convey the test to them in an order that they understand it, so the exposure of these tests gets easier.
Most probably using icons and stuff would be intuitive for users, right? Rather than writing long descriptions there.
And here, in the predictive model, there is something called keystroke level model.
Did you use this?
Yes, keystroke level model. Here is K is used for single key or a button, position of the mouse or clicking a text box, and mentally prepare is M, and reaching for the mouse, and submit or one.
You removed mental preparation time for these things using this keystroke.
Yes, sir. We've got a theoretical value, and we've timed the exact value as well. And the system response time is R. And we've calculated the percentage error, that is approximate value minus the exact value over exact value into 100%. So we know how much we differ from what we expect.
Other than this model, did you think any other rules or laws?
No, sir. What we thought was.
Have you ever got fixed laws?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was more applicable towards the pages side. This is the test ID one. This is a basic login. This what it shows is the user click on the login interface, and the system notifies the user to enter the username and password, and the username and the password user clicks it, and the system verifies, and the login is provided. These are alternate course of actions. This is the theoretical value. What we've done is we've added 2 seconds for to press a single key, and 3 seconds to position the mouse, and mentally prepare to get his username and add his
How
password.
many users did you use
For this purpose, only 2 users. Then later we move on to a questionnaire, that's 4 users.
Did you add this question extra question
Yes,
for
sir.
this?
Yes, we'll show it to you. And then 1 second to reach for the mouse, and 2 seconds to click the submit button, and the system response time is 4 seconds since the animations and everything has to be loaded up. So that's 18 seconds altogether.
At the end, what would be the suggestion from your side based on this calculation? You
Based
should
on-
avoid that whatever the mental preparation time from here.
Yes, sir. This actually you can see, sir. Initially, when we gave the same user, it took 23.4 seconds, and then it went down to 20 seconds. Then it was 17 seconds. So that means user is learning through the system. So that's average of 20.1 seconds. So the error percentage is 0.1%. So that's quite negligible. And then we move on to making a mobile order. So that also we calculated theoretical value. That's 18 seconds, and the observed value is 17.3 seconds in an average. So that's a 0.03% margin. So that's also quite negligible. So this shows us that what we expected and what we got is almost same. This is the questionnaire. This is the feedback questionnaire.
Ask them to print here.
Yeah. And these are the questions we've asked, and this is in a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being definitely agree, 2 being agree, neither agree or disagree, agree, and definitely agree. And the first question is, interfaces are efficient and reliable. Managing time, the work, the current system, and is it easy to keep track of everything they do? Process is well organized in the system. Is it easy to find a particular function? Is it easy to create an order and get it approved? Can the function be...
responses as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure.
We go
Yeah.
to yeah. And this is the statistical data we've achieved. These are requirements are satisfied. These are user friendliness. These are interface attraction and associate of work easiness. These are the statistical data that we've gathered from a group of 4. And these are the illustrations of the selected GUI. This is the login part, and these are some of the illustrations. This is the loading part, and this is the selection. And we move on to the critical reflection. The critical reflection shows the amount of work done
Yeah.
and the calendar for achieving it. And the proposed system design evaluation from the other group, it took 2 days. And implementation of the class structure for the entire system, it took 5 days. That's just a structure without the methods. Individual implementation of group members using GitHub, that took 20 days. Managing this time was quite a challenge. And
Actually, design should be more, so 5 days. Implementation is not that much. 20 days are
that is what we are doing is we are interpreting those designs into interpreting those designs into codes. And UI evaluation took 2 days, and the integration of design patterns took 4 days. And finally,
And the SU refactoring code for implementation design patterns.
yes, sir. And the initial stages of the implementation is carried out, and that is the process is mentioned there, how it went through it. And for further evaluation, what we did was we used visual paradigm and
To draw you.
to draw you, not
Not to draw back. We draw email diagram in the visual diagram, and we converted it to the Java classes file. For the
That's why
design.
you design.
Yeah, that's why we,
Yeah.
that's how we designed the initial structure. And then we moved on to these individual implementations, and requiring the correct pattern for each function was a very hard issue. And we implemented 3 patterns. Those are
That's fine.
singleton, bridge, and observer. And these are what observer does. And singleton is used across the system for all the functions. This was used for objects such as serializing deserializing methods and object loader methods. And then the observer design pattern. Observer design pattern, what it does is when a change is made, it is notified to all. Yeah. So this is done through adding, let's say for an example, adding an employee. So that is required by many classes such as site manager and other employees. So that is being notified to other classes. So using this pattern makes the easier to manage the system. Good evening, Jia Group B, and this is Shamod, Hasun, and Yuddhika, and myself is Shehan, and we are here to talk about a mobile procurement app for the construction industry, and this is done using Java serialization. And basically what it does is a site manager or a manager goes to the site or the construction place, opens his mobile, and what he does is he can make order for the relevant items that are needed in the site, and that is sent to the management. And in between those people, a procurement team acts there, making a purchase order, and also checking for the orders sent from the managers. And basically the management, what it does is it sends for approval, it approves actually, and sends for the suppliers for dispatch, and the suppliers provides the items to the relevant site. And yeah, we will start off with the mobile interfaces, and this is the mobile login.
Did you do some kind of UML changes provided by the previous team?
No, UML changes no, so the flow is intact, as in the designs.
You used the same sequence diagrams and class diagrams as it is, so
Yes.
did you
Yeah, but we added some few methods, new methods, and some parameters.
Did you add these things for your critical reflection method?
Well, the initial concept was intact, sir. What we did was slight changes to the interfaces and some parameters, as you can see through the walkthrough.
Yeah.
This is the mobile interface, the login interface. In order to log it into the map, the application, you have to be a site manager. Otherwise, you can't register. You can register like this.
Did you validate these fields? Password and welcome password, you should use password please. You should display one.
When you register, if the email is not plugged into that, and it will show an error message.
For validation, what did you use? Did you use any very expanded source?
No, just
Change
check the
evidence.
number. I already have an account for site manager, Ravi. I can register. Then I can use that account to. This is the home page where you can create orders, check delivery status, and make inquiries. And of course, if you want to create an order, you have to go there and selected items will be listed on here. Selected item, quantity needs. In order to make the order, you have to make order. Order successful. Then you can check the status of that order. These are the orders, made orders. You can see the status. I just sent because I have just created them and didn't approve it. And, make inquiry.
Status should be printing, right?
No, just send no. When they review the order, it will show the pending message. When they approve it, it will show the make inquiry. You can make inquiries to the management. And message will be sent to the management. You can see the response. Now response since I was created.
So when you are making an inquiry, like you are making the inquiry against an order, or I mean, depending on an order, or is it just
No, just an inquiry
It's a general inquiry.
related to that site manager.
It was according to the design which group D has given us.
It's all about the mobile app. He will show the login to the desktop.
Okay, let me show the desktop application for the management, the procurement team, and for the counters. Here there will be a loading screen. This is to mainly attract the users to the system, and here also I can show you. This is the login screen for the management, and there will be, this is also as animation for the login screen. As you can see, to make it more attractive, we have added animations and for the desktop application. And first of all, I have show you how to log in from the management account. Here you can type the password, then you can type the password. But here, if you forget the password, you can click this account login and this label here. Then it will automatically generate a password and send it to the email address of the new password. Here it will show you your password has been reset. Please check your email.
And what are whoever the user, whoever the given the username would be enough for getting a password, something like that.
Yeah,
but
but the email
password
address
will be
is
sent to that email address
for the
own
relevant
email.
accounts email address. So here we have logged into the account.
Now, for example, suppose that I am not a registered user, right? I just enter my email and then I just click my reset button, so I will be receiving the
No,
password.
no,
sir.
only
He will
the
check for that
accounts-
email address according to the
According to the
username.
date.
According to
Yeah.
username.
Anyone
So you are
can't
having that
register.
validation part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone can't
Yeah,
register
He
into
only enters the
the
user.
desktop application. So here the new email address is there, and here as you can see the password will be changed to 5635, and here you can type 5635 and log into the system. And
As you can see, this is the interface for managing like employees. You can add employee, you can add or update an employee if and only if you are a manager. Otherwise, let's see, if you are an accountant staff, you cannot update. You can just display it. You can search for employees in here. You don't have to type the whole thing. You have to type part of the employee ID. And, an employee.
and all the fields here will also be
YouTube edited.
validated. Your contact number, the email address, everything is validated.
And next thing, you should consider about the aesthetic beauty of these things, right? So you should have proper colors and stuff, and even whatever the buttons and things you can use, if it's add button or either it's a delete button, red button, something like that. Then at a glance, that user can identify what.
Yeah, we have added all these also this
Or you
over
can
in
use
effect.
icons, you can use plus icon or something like that. Green color plus icon.
So here, site managers doesn't have password to the desktop application. So if you select designation as the site manager, you cannot get a password. You have to select a site for it. Like if you select manager, then you need to have password. And since you don't have a site ID, you don't have to enter anything in here. You can add an employee like that. You can update employee. You can update any employee like that. If you want to remove an employee,
So before deleting, you should have confirmation. You should a pop-up and ask whether it's okay to delete, otherwise by mistake if that person clicked it, so it should not allow him to delete.
Another suggestion, what if you can have the double clicking option for the grid rather than just click and then you double click and press the delete. You double click on that one and then the pop-up will come. So that will be more convenient for them.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the inventory. This is the item inventory. Here also you can enter item. There is already cement and bricks. And price as 20 and the quantity as say 2000. This should be cubes. And you can say the confirmation messages you were referring is this
Yes. So what?
inventory.
I
And they are being added. And these searches have been used.
We have another thing, like when you add that one, better to clear all the text boxes, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
still the data is remaining. You have to display the successful message and then clear. Right? Clear and then probably that can be added to the data numbers.
This search is added from used from the Regex filters and filters. And yeah, you can search easily when you're typing the keyword, and you can delete it as well. Say this is deleted. And this is the item inventory. After the order has been made from the order interface from the site, the procurement team access this interface purchase order. These are the current orders that have been made, and these are the sites, and these are the use IDs who have made them, and the priority. So therefore,
Next thing, when you display these things based on the priority, you can use different colors. If it is high priority, you can use red color or something like that. Yeah.
so let's these are some of the orders. So these all the orders have just one item, otherwise it will be shown as two items, and the total is calculated, and the supplier is selected, and the purchase order is created. And the created purchase orders are and the email is sent to the supplier.
And next thing, you should display whatever the employee's name, right? Rather than showing just ID. You know.
The ID is something which is not that much
Yeah.
visible to the user. So
Yes.
maybe at least if you're using the ID, when you move your mouse pointer, maybe you can pop up the name and all that. At least if you still need to use the ID, right?
Yes, the ID is needed
ID is
since,
not much.
I mean,
since
it's
the
your unique code. Maybe
Yeah.
if someone uses E0001, nobody knows, right? If maybe Udara does not know what is my employee number,
Yes,
but if
so
someone say that,
that's actually the purpose, sir, because the procurement team doesn't have, as in, there must be, I don't know, maybe several disputes between them. Yeah, the procurement team just need
but
to.
yeah, you can argue in that manner. But at the same time, probably there should be a responsible person. For example, if I do an order, I place an order, so probably the procurement manager should know who am I, and I mean, what is my position?
Yes.
Whether is there a possibility, I mean, a real requirement for me to make that. Suppose that I am requesting a projector,
Yes.
but a projector fill and do anything.
Right.
Okay, such a thing maybe it might be.
Yeah. You should use whatever now. ID is not much familiar. That should be intuitive. So at a glance, that person can identify who is that person is something like that.
So then the total is calculated from the inventory and from the quantity that is needed. I created a purchase order. So the email is sent to the supplier, the relevant supplier, and to his email address. And this is the purchase order list. And these are the inquiries that have been made. This is one inquiry that our fellow colleague made with the initially while demonstrating the image. And possibly you want to go ahead.
Okay, when after creating the purchase order, the purchase order will get the status as pending, and for this purchase order we have to pay the payment. So you can go to the payment and you can do the payment. Here the purchase order list will be shown, and you can select the purchase order and payment due date. And you can select the payment type, the cash or check or whatever, and the amount and the supply will be automatically
There's
selected.
another section for that one also. Like when you are having the purchase order, probably from the previous window, maybe by clicking on that you can redirect into this particular window.
So these are from the management logins.
But the purchase order also should be viewed to that one in the previous view. I mean,
Yeah, it means like if you
So the
create
purchase order is created from the
if you
procurement
go to
team.
go back to the purchase order.
Yeah, when you create
Yes,
one,
now what I'm suggesting is you can just select one, maybe double click or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you redirect to the payment.
Yeah.
Maybe there will be a confirmation message whether you need to proceed to the payment. Otherwise, it's like you go back and user will be confused.
yeah, but we have designed this according to the design which was
Yeah, it's
given
fine,
in
but that should be now. User actually doesn't know whether click that payment, so
Yeah.
it should be something like double clicking.
So
yeah.
what we consider
One concern, as per my view, right? All these are suggestions, right? So probably now, when you go to the next button, that is payment section, probably you might forget about the payment ID. Sorry, not the purchase order ID or something.
Yeah.
That is again a sort of a string name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have a number of records, 1,000, 1,500, so that will be like difficult for the user.
So what we considered is the purchase order is made from the procurement team and the payment is made from the management.
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 So based on the user, did you maintain separate user types?
Yeah.
Yes, for different logins.
Here actually it's better, you can have a selection for the user types as well.
Yes.
User role or something like that. You can select the user role and you can proceed that.
We have to create a account for
Log out, you don't need to have a separate button there, right? You can just use
And again, when you are using your interface, consistency should be maintained, right? Some places you have very large buttons and some places small buttons. Maybe you don't have much time to complete that one, but still, for the improvements, you can think of such things.
all button sizes should be same.
Buttons, text boxes.
okay, let's we'll pay for the purchase order ID P_3 with cash, and here you can create the payment because you are logging from account type, so you have to go to the management login and you have to go to the management account and then this button will be active, and you
There
can
can be select historical date, selecting a due date.
yeah.
So did you validate it? You should not allow that
the-
person.
Your historical date. What you're asking is
Yeah.
we can
Putting
create
the-
a
Go back and set a date. I mean, if today is 5th of August,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can go
We
back.
didn't validate that.
You didn't validate. You should validate. Should not allow that person to click.
Okay, so when you can create the payment and it will ask whether to create the payment. Then you can go to the check payment status tab, and here it will show here P_3 the payment purchase order ID, and you can send it for the approval for the management. Then you can go send it to the approval, and you can also print the pay sheet here.
So they are also actually, as Sudha said earlier, you can use the color schemes like pending,
Yeah.
successful, maybe green, pending.
Yeah.
sort of things.
And
Yeah,
in
you
total,
can-
you can use a printer icon or something, right? You should add most icons, metaphors and stuff rather than writing, printing and yes.
And here, after that, you can go to the payment and you can approve it. Then here you can see the status is approved. And here my friend will explain about the dispatch order.
So that approval things also another solution, right? You're making suggestion, but
Yeah.
that is notification kind of things can be allowed. I mean, maybe I'm not frequently looking at that particular window rather than if it is a current system, probably whenever you have made a payment, so there will be notification time that there is a payment approval request, so that can be processed.
Okay, after approving the order, when the order is received to the site, user can dispatch the received order to the site by telling the order. It will load to the site details. All the details are shown here. He or she can dispatch order. It will ask for the confirmation. And after dispatching, it will show in this table, and that is the dispatch order.
And here also, when you dispatch for the other accounts, you can go to the purchase order and purchase order list, and you can see that it's status is dispatched. So this is our account.
That's all.
Okay, yeah, that's
Also,
our.
there's another thing, the site. They maintain details about the site, the building sites. You can manage those things in here. As I said before, you can search a site using site ID. You can add a site, update all those stuff in here. Let's say if you want to add a site with a new employee, you have to edit like this, you can see I haven't selected a manage ID. If you edit, then it will show a message that saying you want to add a new employee to that site as well.
Here actually it's fine, but you should disable the button there, and once that person select the site manager's ID and
No, no,
stuff.
sir. In order to add a new site, you have to have that value. If you don't have the value, you can add it, but at the same time you have to add the employee as well. I have added it because
That means without adding the site manager,
oh yeah, you
add
can
the
add a site, but at the same time you have to add that new employee as well.
Because when you start the system newly, all the accounts will be removed, so there won't be any employee to add the new site. So
If
this
you,
will
in here,
allow-
if you like click yes, you have to add that employee as well. You can see the site manager is already selected and the site ID also there. You have to fill in other details and the employee will be added to the site.
Yes, so,
Can we move on to the documentation?
yeah. How about here, Java documentations and did you generate Java documentation?
Yeah, we created the Java documentation. Here, this is the Java doc file. Here you can go to the overview, and we have 4 packages for the UI, test cases, object classes, and CSS means all the logic is inside this. And here you can see all the description and the date and everything is there, and you can select any class and you can get all the information about the class, constructors and all the methods and everything.
And the versions are also shown.
Yeah, and the versions are also.
Did you use any version controls,
Yes.
subversion or?
Yeah, we use GitHub. Yeah, as you can see, this is the GitHub repository.
Let's move to the source code.
Did you follow any architectural patterns?
We added the interfaces separately and the classes separately.
And all serial and objects separately.
What's the pattern?
So basically, it's a type of a MVC architecture.
Let me say, did you use models, views, controls?
Yes, sir. The models are.
Then when you add
yes.
these models, views, controllers, when you are going to package these things, you should add separate, I mean, for the package name should be model, right? So controllers should be there. Then whatever class, when you are going to create that class, should be at least as a suffix you should add as control or something like that. And open one class, controller class. One controller. You should not underscore, right? When you add these classes, you should not use underscores, right?
So, let's say.
Go down.
This is serializing class.
You should add method level comments, right? You should put all these parameters for method level comments and stuff.
We added method level comments.
For all places you should add. What sort of design patterns did you use for this?
We use singleton, bridge, and observer.
Singleton, did you use thread set singleton or not?
Yeah, we use the thread set.
Okay, when you implement singleton pattern, what sort of is that you can do?
Shall we? We have created a private volatile static object class and declared it here. And you can use this method set of get instance method from this class. Then you it will give the unique instance object return to return the unique instance object. And we have made
Why
it
did you put
synchronized
that synchronized keyword for that method as?
to make it thread safe.
Then inside that there's another synchronized block.
Inside that?
So, what you're saying is a public static synchronized
Inside
and
the if condition there's another synchronized block.
static.
The problem comes all threads, right? All threads has to wait there, right? So before coming to the inside that synchronized block. So what you should do, you don't need to use synchronize keyword there in the method in the first place. So you can use synchronize block. So now what will happen if you use the synchronize keyword for that method? Now all objects which are coming for there, right? It has to wait until that whatever the threads release that particular log. So for this one, whatever the threads once it release its log, so then it can proceed with the execution inside that.
Yes, sir. So these singleton methods have been implemented only for instances where, as in not
Only one.
Yeah, for only one.
Okay. But you should remove that synchronize, or you
Right.
can use only one sequence. Okay. Did you use any generics, abstract generic classes?
Yeah, for the bridge one we have used
Show me the bridge pattern. Did you use decorator pattern to calculate the cost and stuff related to different items?
no, we have used object and observers to handle all these items. And here as you can see we have used the type as generic. So
Yeah.
in the classes will be
Generic in the sense it's not okay, you are using types, so all others places that you are going to use this side.
yeah we are specify the types. Yeah.
Hold on.
This is the bridge class. We have created the bridge class because this add object, find object by area and remove object is used by all the objects in serialization object. So through bridge you can connect the main menu, I mean the main
You
logic
can
and
decide what's the item that you are going to select here.
Yeah. You can select because I will show you how it goes done.
Didn't you think about the command line and stuff? So let's say in a controller, there are lots of services that we should delegate these kind of services for whatever service classes. Then you can use delegators. So delegator will make that separate command.
What you're saying is
That means you, in each and every controller, right, you don't need to execute service implementation. You don't need to implement the service there as it is.
right.
You delegate the service. There is a separate implemented service class, right? Then you invoke what you can invoke whatever the object you know to invoke that service there. So you can invoke it, right? In the service implementation, you can implement, let's say it's procurement class or something. Then procurement related services you can implement.
Okay, and for the observer pattern, we have used it for like when you add the employee or purchase or payment, all the labels and all the number boxes should be updated. So we have used observer class to observe it and update all the tables and
You identified what are the modified objects, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you update them.
yeah, we use observer pattern, and here you can see observer 2, 3 and 1, and you when you set the status it will all get updated.
So, did you write test cases for this?
Yeah, we added for all the serialization of
Run your test case and show us. Did you? How many test suits did you create?
we have created like we have used test cases for everything, and it's like 1, 2, 3.
One test case.
Yes. These are test cases.
This is the test case, and here is will run it all.
Maximum, sir.
Stop.
Stop.
Still going, go. Left. Seconds left.
Okay, this is the test run, and it will show as it is false because some expected values are not there.
So, did you use JUnit test cases or?
Yeah, I have used the
Can you open this test case class?
this test run class.
These
This
are
run
test
for-
cases. Whatever test case you give.
This is one example of employee test case. And as you can see here in the constructor, I have added some sample objects. I have created sample objects, and here in the first test, I have deserialized them and deserialized the objects which is already available in the file. And for the second test, I have added all these objects and tested it and serialized it. And for the third one, I have tested with the values. With the values are available in the serialized objects. And here, this will be a negative test case for invalid name.
Show me the test suit.